She's still watching in silence the hidden reasons behind her gaze. Asterisk, there's a kind of silence that isn't empty, it's full. Full of questions, emotions, and a presence so profound it lingers long after the noise fades. You might not notice it immediately, but if you've ever felt like someone was still watching you, even when words had long disappeared, you've felt the weight of a woman's silent gaze. This isn't the look of curiosity or passive observation. It's a deeper, more complex gaze. One that holds stories she never told you, emotions she never dared to speak, and reasons that go far beyond what meets the eye. But why does she watch in silence? Why does she observe without reaching out? Today, let's decode the quiet intensity of a woman's lingering gaze and, in doing so, understand not only but perhaps a forgotten part of yourself. Asterisk 1. The gaze of unspoken words. When a woman watches you in silence, it's often because her heart is filled with words that never found their way out. Conversations she rehearsed in her mind, moments she hoped would unfold differently, and emotions too fragile to be spoken aloud. It's not that she has nothing to say, it's that she fears when she speaks. The delicate balance will shatter. Words are powerful, but silence can hold an entire universe. Many men misunderstand this. They see her silence as indifference or even disinterest. But in truth, it's the opposite. Silence for her is a form of preservation. She's guarding not just herself, but the connection, however broken it may seem. If you find yourself being watched from afar, understand she's speaking to you, not with words. Asterisk 2. The fear of rejection runs deeper than you think. One of the most hidden reasons behind her silent gaze is the deep-rooted fear of rejection, not just from you, but from the story you both share. Women, especially those with high emotional sensitivity, often choose to love quietly. They feel deeply, but when hurt, they retreat inward, not because they've stopped caring, but because they fear that expressing their emotions might push you further away. Her gaze is her way of staying connected, without the risk of another wound. She watches you because she still hopes that you might sense her presence, understand her silence, and perhaps choose to bridge the gap first. Asterisk 3. Observing to protect her emotional boundaries. Sometimes watching in silence isn't about longing, it's about protection. After emotional turmoil, woman may create an invisible wall to safeguard herself from further pain. But within that wall, she still watches, not to reopen old wounds, but to monitor from a safe distance. She needs to know if you've changed, if the situation has shifted, or if her boundaries are being respected. This gaze isn't a plea for attention. It's a test of your presence. Will you recognize the subtlety? Or will you need everything spelled out for you? Asterisk 4. Silent watching is her way of processing emotions. Women process emotional pain differently from men. While men may seek action or distraction, women often turn inward, reflecting, analyzing, and feeling every shade of emotion. Her gaze, though silent, is active. She's reliving moments, questioning her own reactions, and trying to make sense of the emotional landscape you both created. She watches because she's still in, it's still processing, still understanding. This is why silence isn't a sign that she has moved on. Often it's a sign that she's still navigating through the storm. Asterisk 5. She wants to see if you notice without being told. One of the most painful things for an emotionally intelligent woman is needing to explain her pain. She yearns for a man who is present enough, attuned enough, to notice the unspoken. Her silent gaze is a subtle invitation. Do you see me? Or do you only listen when I speak? This is where many relationships fracture. Men often wait for explicit communication, while women hope for intuitive understanding. If you feel her eyes on you but hear no words, pause, reflect. Is there something you've overlooked? Have you been so focused on what's loud that you've become deaf to what's quiet? Asterisk 6. The gaze is her quiet goodbye or a last hopes. Sometimes a woman's silent watching is her way of saying goodbye. not in anger, not in resentment, but in a quiet mourning of what could have been. Yet other times, it's a last flicker of hope, a final, silent prayer that you will notice, understand, and act. It's a thin line. It's the same gaze can mean, I'm done, or I'm waiting for. You two come back differently. The key lies in your ability to interpret not just her gaze, but your own heart. Asterisk. 7. How men can respond. Awareness is power. So, what should you do when you sense that silent gaze? How do you respond to something so delicate? Step 1. Pause and reflect. Before reacting, ask yourself, have I been emotionally absent? Is there something unresolved lingering between us? Step 2. Observe nonverbal cues. Is her gaze soft or guarded? Is her body language open or defensive? These cues reveal whether she's still hoping for connection or closing off emotionally. Step 3. Initiate. Safe conversations. Approach gently. Acknowledge the silence. You might say, I feel like there's something on your mind, but I don't want to push you. I'm here when you're ready. Step 4. Show. Don't just say actions, speak volumes. Demonstrating emotional presence through small, consistent actions can rebuild a bridge that words alone cannot. Asterisk 8. The hidden mirror. Her gaze reflects. Here's the most profound truth. When a woman watches you in silence, she's not only observing you, she's reflecting a part of yourself back to you. Her gaze becomes a mirror, revealing your emotional blind spots, your tendencies to ignore subtleties, and your own discomfort with emotional depth. Many men fear this mirror because it exposes vulnerabilities. But growth happens when you dare to look back into her eyes, not just to see her, but to see yourself more clearly. Asterisk 9. Practical mindset shifts for men. If you want to build deeper, more meaningful emotional connections, not just with her, but with women in general, here are mindset shifts to start practicing at home. 1. Learn to sit in silence. Practice being present without filling every moment with words or distractions. Emotional presence is often felt, not heard. Point 2. Pay attention. 2 micro expressions. Train yourself to notice subtle shifts in body language. A glance, a breath, a slight tension. These are emotional signals louder than words. 3. Validate unspoken feelings. Instead of waiting for a confession, offer validation for what you sense. I feel like something's weighing on you. You don't have to explain, but I'm here. 4. Reflect on your emotional patterns. Are you someone who avoids emotional discomfort? The more aware you are of your tendencies, the more attuned you'll become to hers. Asterisk 10. When you choose to, see, you change the story. There's power in noticing what others overlook. When you choose to acknowledge her silent gaze, you're not just recognizing her emotions, you're reshaping the emotional narrative between you. Many relationships don't break because of loud arguments. They break because of silent neglect. But the beautiful paradox is, it only takes one moment of true presence to begin healing years of silent hurt. When you see her, truly see her in her quiet observation, you validate her existence in a way words never could. Asterisk conclusion. Don't let her watch alone. If there's one truth you should carry with you today, it's this: silence isn't absence. When a woman still watches you in silence, just offering you a rare window into her emotional world. A window that once closed might never reopen. You don't need grand gestures. You don't need dramatic speeches. You only need to be there, present, aware, and willing to meet her where words fall short. So, the next time you feel her gaze lingering, pause, look back, and ask yourself not what she's thinking, but what she's feeling that she can't yet say. And if this message resonated with you, if you've ever felt like these silent moments are the most powerful in human connection support, our journey at Awaken Mindset. We're here to help you see what's often overlooked, feel what's often ignored, and become the kind of person who no longer needs to be told because you've learned how to understand in silence. Subscribe, reflect, awaken.